I won a free trip. But what happened there destroyed my reputation. I won the trip on Instagram. Some stupid travel influencer was doing a win a free getaway. Giveaway tag 3 friends. Follow. Share on your story. I never do that crap. But I was bored. Stuck on my lunch break and tagged a few people just for the hell of it. 2 weeks later I got the DM. You're going to Cabo. I honestly thought it was a scam. I even asked my buddy Evan to check if the page was legit. He confirmed it was. Real influencer? Real giveaway? Real tickets? 4 nights in an all-inclusive beach resort. Flights paid. Ocean view room? And the best part? I got to bring a friend. So of course, I picked Evan. We'd been friends since high school, roommates in college, co-workers at our first job, wingmen on bad dates. We always joked that if we ever had money, we'd take a trip together just to get wasted and forget we existed. Well, now the universe was paying for it. I told my manager I needed time off. She didn't even ask why. We flew out that Friday. The resort was ridiculous. Marble floors, welcome drinks, bellhops, and uniforms. Our room had a private balcony and a minibar that restocked every morning. There was a swim-up bar in the pool, and servers who brought tacos straight to your chair. It was paradise. The kind of place where everyone's trying to look like they're not taking selfies, but everyone absolutely is. Evan went full influencer mode. Every cocktail got a boomerang. Every pool pic had captions like, "Not bad for a Friday," or "Catch me never coming back." I mostly just lounged, drank, and let myself feel untouchable until the 3rd night. It was supposed to be a beach bonfire. The resort organized one every weekend, open bar, live DJ, lights strung between palm trees. We went down just after sunset. Evan had already had 5 rum and cokes by the time we got there. He was loud, not aggressive, just too much. He'd been flirting with this girl from Toronto the entire trip, and she was finally warming up to him. I told him to cool it, but he just laughed. "Dude, we're in Mexico. This isn't real life." That should have been the first red flag. Around midnight, I left to use the restroom and grab another drink. I was gone maybe 10 minutes. When I came back, Evan was standing on a plastic chair, shouting something into the crowd. People were laughing. At first I thought he was just doing something dumb and harmless. Then I heard my name. "And this guy," he said, pointing at me. "This guy right here, you all think he's just some quiet dude. But let me tell you something about my man here." I froze. He kept going. He told them about the girl I cried over in college, the one who cheated on me with my roommate. He told them I wet the bed once after a party. He told them how I got fired from my first job for accidentally forwarding a private email to the whole department. People were howling. He was drunk. I kept telling myself that. He was just drunk. But he didn't stop. He ended with, "Anyway, if you ever need a roommate who cries into his laundry, hit him up." And that's when I left. I didn't say anything. I walked straight back to the room, locked the door, and sat on the bed with my head in my hands. 5 minutes later, he was knocking. "Bro, open up." "Come on, man, I didn't. It was a joke." Still didn't. "Seriously, don't be a bitch." I was just messing around. That was it. I opened the door, threw his suitcase into the hallway, and said nothing. Just closed it again. He slept somewhere else that night. I don't know where. The next morning I thought maybe things would cool off, that we'd both be hungover, say some half-hearted apologies, and fly home like nothing happened. But Evan posted the video. He had filmed the whole thing, posted it to his story, tagged me, added captions like, "Hell, thank me later," and "Best man roast goes hard." I messaged him, "Take that down, now." He replied, "Chill, dude." People loved it. "You're going viral." He wasn't wrong. By the time we were in the airport heading home, the video had 25,000 views. Someone had saved it and uploaded it to TikTok. It was already at 78,000 there. Comments were brutal. People thought it was hilarious. "This guy's never going outside again." Imagine being publicly humiliated by your own best friend. Peak male friendship. Toxic and funny. By the time I landed, I was a meme. And that's just the beginning. I thought it would blow over. I figured the internet has a short memory. One day you're a meme, the next you're nobody again. Some new idiot does something dumber and takes the heat off. But I underestimated how brutal viral shame can be. The second I landed and took my phone off airplane mode, I had 362 notifications. My old high school group chat was flooded with laughing emojis. One guy sent a GIF with the caption, Did it hurt when Evan buried you alive? At work, no one said anything directly, but everyone knew. People would stop talking when I walked into the room. Someone even left a printed screenshot of the video on my desk. No note. No jokes. Just left it there like a calling card. Twice. At the grocery store, strangers said, "Hey, aren't you that guy from TikTok? The one whose best friend roasted him to death?" By the second time, I started wearing my hoodie even in 80-degree weather. Evan? He was riding the wave, in his own words. "Bro, you don't get it. This is giving us a platform. I've already talked to some brand guys. We could do a podcast or something. You really think I want to sit next to you again after what you did? Dude, it was just for laughs. The internet isn't real life." I wanted to break his nose. I didn't, but I wanted to. A week later, I deleted all my social media accounts. Week 2, I filed for a leave of absence from work. Week 3, I packed a bag and moved in with my parents. Temporarily, I told myself. My parents are simple people. Old school. Paper newspaper and decaf coffee in the morning. They didn't even know what TikTok was, but they knew something was wrong with me. "Son," my dad asked quietly one night, "you okay?" Not really. He didn't push. Just handed me a cup of coffee and sat on the porch next to me in silence. It was the first time in weeks I didn't feel like running. Then came the letter. Not an email, not a DM. A real, physical letter. Mailed in an envelope with my name on it in all caps block letters. On the back, in handwriting I recognized. "You ruined everything. Coward." Inside was a printed out article from some trashy pop culture site. "Best friend goes viral roasting his buddy, harmless fun," or something darker. Underneath the article was a quote from my ex-girlfriend, the one I broke up with over 2 years ago. She said, "I'm not surprised. He always loved being the victim. He brings this stuff on himself." That was the moment I snapped. I sat in the basement of my parents' house, holding that article like it was radioactive. And for the first time since Cabo, I stopped feeling humiliated and started feeling angry. That's when I began planning revenge. Not dramatically, not with screaming or threats, methodically, quietly, coldly. Evan wanted fame. He fed on attention. He was obsessed with likes, views, reactions. So I gave him what he wanted. I created a new account. No name, no photo, no connection to me. Just a burner with a bio that said, "Some things aren't funny." Then I started gathering footage. All of Evan's videos were public, his Instagram stories, saved live streams, even that beach party humiliation clip. I pieced together a compilation. Moments where he mocked people, crossed lines, bragged about bullying, all under the guise of jokes. I didn't add my voice. I let his words speak. Each clip was stitched with soft, eerie music and bold captions. "This isn't a roast. It's humiliation." He called it friendship. We call it abuse. Watch how people laugh when they're uncomfortable. I uploaded it on a Sunday at 7:00 p.m., prime engagement time. Within 48 hours, it had 500,000 views. And just like that, the tide turned. Comments flooded in. "Wait, this isn't funny anymore. Why does he sound like an actual sociopath? This guy sucks. Imagine calling him your friend. This feels like trauma in disguise." People began unfollowing him. The brands he had bragged about, silent. One even released a vague statement about rare evaluating partnerships. And that's when I messaged him from a number he didn't recognize. "Now the world knows who you really are." No emojis, no threats, just that. The message hit Evan harder than I expected. At first, he stayed quiet. His story posts dropped off. His Instagram feed went from daily selfies to complete silence. For a few days, it was blissfully quiet. Then the video responses started. He posted a black and white selfie on Twitter with the caption, "Cancel culture is real, but you can't cancel the truth." His followers, the ones who still stuck around, rallied in the comments. "Stay strong, King. Don't let the haters win. This is what happens when you're too real." He played the victim. It was disgusting. Then he did something worse. He made a YouTube video, 12 minutes long, emotional background music, dramatic pauses, fake tears. Maybe he was really crying. I couldn't tell anymore. In the video, he told his version of events. The clip was taken out of context. "I was trying to hype my friend up. That's how we joke. That's our dynamic." He laughed too at the time. He called me. Never said my name. Just that letter, and said I'd been struggling mentally for years and was lashing out. I love my bro. I really do. I don't know why he turned on me, but I forgive him. Forgive me. I nearly threw my phone across the room. Within an hour, his video had 50,000 views. Comments were split. Some still backed him, saying he was being unfairly targeted. Others called BS on his act and shared my anonymous compilation video in the replies. Still, I knew what came next. He would try to find me. 3 days later, I got an email from a burner address. I know it's you. Let's talk. Like men. One last time. I didn't respond, but he wasn't done. A few hours after that, my job called me. Apparently, someone had emailed HR anonymously claiming I had conducted a smear campaign online using company resources. My boss didn't believe it, but she had to report it. They froze my work email. Opened an internal review. I knew it was Evan. He couldn't disprove the video. So now he was trying to destroy me the way I had destroyed him. I realized then that revenge never ends clean. When you hurt someone, even someone who deserves it, you give them reason to come for you. You become their villain. And Evan? He was the kind of guy who couldn't accept being the bad guy. So I prepared for the worst. I called a lawyer, a family friend, told him everything. Not in detail, just enough for him to say, "You didn't do anything illegal. But if he keeps pushing, we can file harassment claims." Then, I did the thing I should have done from the start. I called my therapist. We hadn't talked in a year. I booked 2 sessions. We spent the entire first hour unpacking everything: the trip, the betrayal, the video, the fallout, the revenge. She asked me one question that I couldn't stop thinking about. If the video disappears tomorrow, and everyone forgets, do you still feel like you've won? I didn't answer, because I didn't know. Meanwhile, Evan kept digging. I knew he was looking for the burner account. He posted screenshots trying to prove the video had been manipulated. He even claimed I had edited the audio, but the internet had moved on. A bigger story had dropped. Some celebrity cheating scandal. A basketball player caught in a lie. Whatever. People stopped caring. His engagement dropped by 80%. Brands ghosted him. His podcast idea vanished. He messaged me again. "Congratulations. You killed my career. I hope it was worth it." I didn't reply. Then he said, "I'm sorry." I stared at that message for a long time. I didn't know if he meant it. Maybe he was trying to pull me back in. Maybe he had finally realized how far it had gone. But deep down, I didn't want an apology. I wanted closure. So I sent one last message. "You embarrassed me in front of the world and told them it was love. I made the world watch you lie and called it justice. Now we're even. Don't contact me again." He didn't reply. And just like that, it was over. Sort of. The day after I sent that final message to Evan, I turned off my phone for 24 hours. No scrolling, no notifications, no temptation to check comments or DMs or headlines. Just silence. I went for a walk, a long one. I ended up at the lake near my childhood home, the one my dad used to take me to when I was a kid. I sat on the bench where I once cried about a scraped knee when I was 7, where I sulked after my first breakup at 16. And now, at 28, I sat there wondering if I'd just nuked the only real friendship I had left. And if it had to be that way. My therapist had asked me a question in our second session. What did Evan represent to you before this happened? I hadn't thought about it that way. But once I did, the answer came fast. Stability. He was the one constant through all my chaotic phases: college flunkouts, job rejections, family drama, breakups. He was the guy I called when my car broke down, when I needed to crash on someone's couch, when I didn't want to drink alone. And maybe that's why the betrayal felt nuclear. Because if he could turn on me, anyone could. The weeks passed. People online forgot. The algorithm moved on. Our drama got buried beneath celebrity gossip and influencer feuds. The burner account I used, I deleted it. Clean slate. No trace. Like it never happened. But offline, the damage lingered. Work never truly went back to normal. My coworkers didn't make jokes, but the vibe shifted. Some avoided eye contact. Others treated me like glass. I could feel their unspoken thoughts. That's the guy who got internet famous for being humiliated. That's the guy who launched a revenge campaign and almost got sued. Harar closed the internal review, but I knew my image was cracked. And Evan? He disappeared, deleted most of his socials. Last I heard, he moved back in with his parents across the country. Some mutual friends said he was laying low, whatever that means. I didn't follow up. I didn't care to. One afternoon, about 2 months after Cabo, I got a letter. Another physical one. No threats this time. Just a photo. It was a picture of me and Evan, senior year of college. We were at a party, holding cheap beers, laughing so hard my eyes were squinted shut. On the back in pen was one line: "We used to be better. No return address." I didn't cry, but I stared at that picture for a long time. Rebuilding is strange. You think it's about fixing what broke, but more often it's about learning to live without it. I started reaching out to other people, old college friends, a guy I used to play soccer with, even a girl I once ghosted and owed an apology. I didn't try to replace Evan, but I did try to relearn how to be known again. Trusted. Vulnerable, but on my terms this time. And slowly, I found peace in small things. Sitting on the porch with my dad, helping my mom in the garden, going to the movies alone, and not feeling weird about it. Writing again. That last one surprised me. I'd used to write essays in college, but I gave it up once life got serious. But one night, I opened my laptop and wrote everything that happened the trip. The roast, the shame, the revenge. I didn't post it anywhere, I just wrote it for me. And for the first time since the bonfire, I slept through the night without waking up with my heart pounding. Sometimes I still think about Cabo, the resort, the drinks, the sun, that perfect fake paradise where the cracks finally showed. I replay the moment Evan stood on that chair. His voice, his jokes, the way people laughed. And I wonder if I'd just spoken up then, pulled him down, confronted him sober. Would we still be friends? But I don't stay in that thought too long, because the truth is, it wasn't the chair that ruined everything. It was everything before that. We had let the friendship rot quietly for years. Covered it up with drinks and jokes and nostalgia. But underneath, there were fractures, resentments, power imbalances, a slow erosion we both ignored. The bonfire just lit the fuse. And I guess the camera was the final match. The night I finished writing everything down, I looked at the picture one more time. Then I tore it in half. Not out of anger, not as a final screw you, just to let it go. 3 months after the trip, I ran into Evan again. It wasn't planned. It wasn't cinematic. There was no rain, no dramatic background music. I was at a bookstore of all places, grabbing a coffee at the attached cafe, flipping through a paperback I had no real intention of buying, and there he was. He looked smaller than I remembered. Not physically, but worn down, like someone had taken the saturation out of him. Same hoodie he always wore. Baseball cap pulled low, eyes red-rimmed. He froze when he saw me. I thought I'd feel rage, or at least the leftover burn of everything that happened, but what I felt instead was tired. He stepped closer, cautious, like I was going to swing at him. "Hey," I nodded. "That's all, just a nod." "You look good," he said. "Better." I didn't say anything. "Listen," he continued. "I didn't come here to start anything. I didn't even know you'd be here. I've been meaning to say something." I waited. I was a jackass. What I did at the bonfire, the video, everything after it wasn't a joke. Not really. I told myself it was. I told myself you were cool with it, but I knew. I knew when your face dropped. I knew when you walked away. He looked down, hands stuffed in his pockets. "You were my best friend, man, and I wanted people to laugh at my jokes more than I cared about how you felt. That's on me." Still, I didn't speak. I just let him get it all out. "You didn't deserve what came next either," he added, quieter. "Not the HR thing. Not the digging. That was me being spiteful because I didn't like how it felt to lose. You were always the one people liked more, even if you didn't believe it. And when I had my moment in the sun and you took it, I lost it." There was a long pause. People were walking by, ordering drinks, laughing at tables, but we were stuck in our own quiet bubble. Then he said something I didn't expect. "I'm seeing someone. A therapist, I mean." That caught me off guard. "Good," I finally said. It was the first word I'd spoken to him in months. His eyes lit up for a second, just from that single syllable. "I'm not asking to be friends again," he said quickly. "I wouldn't even know how. I wanted to say it to your face. I was wrong. I'm sorry." He took a step back. That's all I needed to do." He turned to leave. And for a split second I thought about stopping him, saying wait, saying me too, saying it wasn't all your fault. But I didn't. Because sometimes closure isn't a big dramatic moment. It's not about hugging it out or rewriting the past. Sometimes, it's just two people telling the truth, one final time, and walking away. I watched him leave, out the cafe doors, into the sun. Then I sat down, pulled out my notebook, and wrote one final sentence. You don't always get justice, but you can find peace. The video? Gone. Deleted weeks ago. The burner account. Dead and buried. The story? Still mine. But now it lived on the page, not on the internet. Months later, I pitched an essay based on the whole experience. A small website picked it up. It got decent traction. Someone even emailed me to say, I went through something like this. Thanks for putting it into words. That meant more to me than any viral clip ever could. I wasn't a hero. I wasn't a victim. I was just someone who got hurt, made some bad choices, tried to clean up the mess, and moved forward. People ask me if I miss him. Sometimes. We had history. Years of inside jokes, road trips, dumb fights over nothing, shared playlists, shared heartbreaks. But now I look back and understand. Some people are chapters, not the whole book. And when a chapter gets ugly, when it turns bitter, painful, toxic, you don't tear out the page. You finish it. You learn from it. And you keep reading. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.